Yo, so I just want to point out this is therapy for us all. Like week in, week out. We look forward to it. Listen,
Fellas,
it's
it's
just
gonna be one of them nights.
it's gonna be. I'm telling you. I guess the first question. What's going on? What's going on? Another Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. Prototype Dad. We got a good episode for you guys tonight, man, and I'm kind of excited about this one. We're going to talk a little bit about martial arts and the differences between getting our kids in youth sports, team sports, and martial arts. What's better? Should they do both? And we just a couple guys chopping it up. So let me go ahead and bring on the original cast. We got Lee for Scales. What's going on? How you doing tonight? My man Mo Better.
What's happening?
We got a returning cast member. We got Smooth. What's going on?
What's happening?
We got some specialists on tonight. So I got some close friends of mine. Uh, they specialize in martial arts. They got their kids in it, and they've been doing it a long time. One homeboy. What's up, Jesse?
Yeah.
And Uncle Rick. What's going on, my guy? Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you guys up tonight, man. So let's make it a good show, and we could kind of jump right into it, right? So we're gonna ask first off, right? So I'm a big football guy. You know what I mean? Play college sports. I know a lot of us have, and I'm ride or die football. Like it molded me. Like everything it brings to me, like the disciplines of it, and I hate when people put it above, like put other things above it. You know what I'm saying? Because of what it's done for me. But it's different for everybody, and and times are changing, so we don't necessarily got to get it out the mud like we used to. We have different avenues of getting things. So the first question here, man. So how we kind of go? Everybody get it. I'll ask the question. Everybody get their opinion on it. What's better for our kids, martial arts or team sports such as football? Who wants to take the first crack?
Hey, I'm gonna spin on this one, man, because I think it depends. I think it depends on what the kids' talents are and their temperament and stuff like that. And I kind of go back to myself, man. I actually started out in martial arts, but coming up in the hood, it was like, that's lame. Who you think you is, the Karate Kid? Oh, you're whack. You know what I mean? And it just so happened I had a propensity and a talent to do the team sports thing as well. But man, I was actually really into martial arts, man. I thought it was cool. And I guess I just wasn't in my bag enough to be like, man, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway. So I let it go. But yeah, man, I just think it depends on the temperament. Like if a kid needs discipline, a kid needs confidence, a kid needs something to be able to defend themselves because they ain't necessarily the most assertive and they're bound to get picked on, that type of thing, man. I think karate could be good for them, or any martial arts. But sometimes, if a kid is not the most social, that team aspect helps. So I just think it depends on the kid and the environment that they're going to be coming up in.
Who want to go next?
Yeah, I agree with Mo. My mic good. My mic good.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, my mic been hot lately. Yeah, I agree with Mo. I think both. Like I said, I think it's all depending on your kid. But really, how I looked at it, I played. I boxed, but I also did basketball. Um, I put my sons in boxing. Right, I taught them how to box, but they play football and basketball. I think they kind of complement each other. You know what I'm saying? With martial arts, to teach your child independence, to teach them how to think, how to because if you're in the martial arts, you guys know it's a thinking man's game before it's anything. The physical is the minor part of it, right? That's the stuff that's easy to work on, right? So but it also teaches them discipline, right? It also teaches them structure, right? It teaches them focus, which can carry on over to those team sports, football. If he learns that also, it makes them independent thinkers, so they're able to lead, right? So if you got a quarterback or a runner, you know what I'm saying? It gives them those attributes as well. I think they complement each other well. I think if you do have a son, every man should know how to defend himself first and foremost, right? But again, there's a lot of attributes from martial arts that translates to sports and it just makes better men. You know what I'm saying? They relate. Again, because they're confident and they're not afraid to defend themselves when confrontation arises, they're able to handle it correctly, right? But they're also learn to be more direct. You see what I'm saying? Because they have that confidence in themselves to be able to defend themselves if something never happens. I think a lot of people call it aggression. I call it confidence, right? Being understanding. The first thing you learn in boxing, right, is to respect the man across from you. Never look past an opponent, right? That's respect. That's respect. So that will allow you to handle men differently, knowing that you see a man on your, on your same level of accord as an opponent. So I think they complement. I think it would be best. I think they complement. I think it would be best to have your child in martial arts before you put them in any team sport. It just makes sense to me. So.
Hey, I like your answer there. I'm gonna have some pushback afterwards, but go ahead. Who got next?
I'll take it. So, can y'all hear me good?
Yes, sir.
I don't got the Gucci mic and all that, so I gotta, if y'all can hear me, let me know. But I agree with Mo, and I also agree with Ricky. I think for the martial art that I partake in, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it is a thinking man's game, and I do think it depends on the kid. So my oldest son was never really that physical growing up. He was, just he's not as confident as the other kids. He's a little bit different, right? He's on the spectrum. And so those team sport aspects and that social aspect of it, if you're on the spectrum, that social, you're already at a detriment. And so, and we know how brutal football is, like, especially at least when we were growing up, when I was growing up, football was brutal. And so for me, he doesn't want to do it. I'm not going to push him into something he's not going to do. However, I do think that you have to have some type of physical activity to get that energy out. Young boys have energy and they have to get it out. And if they don't get it out in a constructive way, it's going to come out in a destructive way. And so when it comes to team sports, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing both. Like my middle son, my youngest son, he does both. He does soccer and he does jiu-jitsu as well. So it depends on the kid, but he's the most social kid in the world. So much so that I can't let him out of my sight. If someone's playing basketball, he'll drop his bag and start walking. I'm looking at him. I'm like, where you going? And I'm like, Gab, where you going, man? He's like, I'm trying to go play basketball. Oh, I got you. Cool. But we don't know them and we're going to go do something else right now. He don't care. So again, I just think it depends on the kid. I think it depends on the sport. I also think it depends on the martial art. Because some are definitely better than others. Like boxing's phenomenal. Like that. I mean, that's artistry at work, especially when you really know what you're looking for and what you're really doing. I think jiu-jitsu is one of those. Judo's very good. Wrestling, like as weird as that sounds, but it's definitely a martial art. Somebody slam your head on the concrete, it's done. So that's my piece on it.
No, that's dope. That's dope. Smooth, what you got?
Hey, I'm in agreement with the fellas, man. Martial arts for those one-on-one battles, I think that can be incorporated into football, especially with like a linebacker or a lineman. Like once they win those battles in the trenches because they know how to do a one-on-one battle. But as far as team sports, man, be honest, every kid that play team sports not going to go to college, not going to go to the NFL. But the camaraderie of having other kids around them and knowing how to deal with groups will help them in the workplace later on in life.
So hit me trying to get up here. So this is really his topic, but I'm gonna spin it until we get up here. So it's one of those things where like I get what y'all saying is it builds up confidence for the team sport. I mean, so your kid can play team sports, that kind of aspect. And maybe because I just came in I was a dog I was ready from birth to always go play some ball. That's different. You know what I mean? I never thought I needed anything else as far as something to teach me discipline, something to teach me, I don't know, work ethic. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Football's king for me. I get what you're saying, Jess, when you say like your one son wasn't as aggressive. He's not like us, right? Is basically what you're saying. So because he's not like us, you got to learn how to defend yourself. You put him in that, and it could be a starter, build confidence. To Ricky's point, right? It could be a starter to build confidence, and then you can slide them into some other things. I just think like, okay, the next question is basically this, right? So what's a better discipline, right? Is it martial arts or is it sports? Because I mean, I don't think there should really be a difference on what discipline gets. You know what I mean? Where your discipline is coming from. I think all should be applied. And I just hate how people they'll drag football or other like team sports discipline for the martial arts, for the boxing, for the whatever. You know what I mean? Everybody here is going to, y'all instantly going to give boxing, martial arts king over discipline, eating habits, blah, 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 XYZ. But I don't think it should. You know what I mean? What's up, Hit? Welcome to the party.
Yo, man, they tried to quiet me, man, but I'm through, man. I had to get a whole nother phone, man.
So look, the first question really is like, what's better? Is it team sports or martial arts? And you being a boxing instructor yourself, you know what I'm saying, and having a boxing gym, what would you think? Playing football is better or team sports is better for for your kids?
We got a saying here, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? Hold your applause. So, but we got a saying here, man. If boxing was easy, it'd be football. So you know what I mean? So like but kind of what you were saying, right? To your point, I think with boxing and any individual sport, you're more highlighted because I mean it's just you. You know what I'm saying? And you're responsible for your assignment. But to your point, it's just the discipline in anything you do. If you give that same discipline, whether it's football or individual sport, you know what I'm saying, you're going to see your success. I think a lot of things that the misconceptions with boxing is like it's the same as martial arts when you talk about the discipline aspect. Like them boys that's champions is in the gym like 24/7. They studying their art. You know what I'm saying? When they get out the ring, they watching other fighters and they going back and they studying, they practicing. It's the same thing as like, you know what I'm saying, martial arts, the same type of discipline. And I always tell people, if you're not ready to put that in there, you ain't gonna be successful at it. You're not gonna get the same out of it. You'll just be basically just working out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think any of that discipline will cross over to any sport if you want to be successful, man. Like the last guy, you know what I'm saying, shooting in the gym, you know what I'm saying?
So the next question would be like, why would discipline from martial arts be any different? Why do guys coming from martial arts have better discipline than guys coming from football?
You can't, I mean, because you can't hide within the team. You know what I'm saying? Like if you miss an assignment, then you know what I mean, it's boom, like you don't have nobody to make up for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you miss the block, the running back can make a cut and you might still be successful. But if you miss a block in boxing, you might get knocked out. That's it. You know what I mean? It creates more of a discipline because it's more individualized and it's just you. The stage is bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bigger stage, man. Like, you know, I played both. And I just feel like boxing was all like, and even in wrestling, I wrestled. That's another individual sport. And it created the same. You got to have the same type of drive, determination, because it's just you and him. That's it.
No, I like that. That's solid, man. Anybody else got want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I'll take it. So as there's no difference in terms of discipline. Like I can't disagree with anything that man said. Like, but to even further the point of it's an individual effort, in film study, and that's really like if you talk to any boxer, any boxing coach, any martial artist, any wrestler, they're watching film too. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I saw immediately as I got better at my craft in jiu-jitsu. I noticed that, I have this instructional by this guy who's a similar body type as mine, and he likes arm bars just like me. cool. I'm gonna get that, and I'm gonna study that, and I'm gonna hone that, and I'm going to drill that until I'm tired of drilling it, and then I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna drill it again. Like I'm still gonna go another month of drilling it, simply because that's mastery. And so that's hard to. It's hard to do in football. Like you can do as much individual stuff as you want, but like my man said, like it's at the end of the day, it's what's your team going to do. You could be the best player on the team, but if your team is trash, it doesn't mean anything. So there's that aspect of it, and the other aspect is martial arts is lifelong. You can wrestle late in life, you can do jiu-jitsu late in life, you can do boxing late in life. Just in terms of even just training or drilling, like you can still do all those movements. And with football, like you really can't. Like you really can't do it. Like you gotta get 10 guys every day, you know what I mean? Like 11 guys, 11v11. Like you gotta do all that extra stuff. So like for me, jiu-jitsu or just martial arts in general is something you can do on your own late in life, and you can keep doing it. I'm not beholden to any type of league or whatever organization. So that's my piece on it.
And to elaborate on how it helps in other sports, right? And shout out to Hit Me, you know what I'm saying, and Jesse. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one that say this, especially if you study the martial art or in boxing or anything like that, right? You look at the games different, right? Like if your kid is in boxing, he has to learn to pick up on certain traits and tendencies of other fighters, right? That translated for my son to football, right? He knew when a lineman was gonna go, right? He paid attention to twitch, and in boxing, he learned footwork, so he had footwork that was levels above the guys because he was a running back. So his footwork was levels above the guys he played against in high school. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of transferable traits in martial arts, and especially with jiu-jitsu. That means he will understand how to get leverage on another man quicker and faster, right? These things translate. So again, if you put your kid in one of those disciplines early, they'll have a huge leap of understanding over those kids, especially like I put my son, my oldest son, Andre, he was boxing since he was 8 years old, right? So when he got to Pee Wee, he was levels above those kids. Levels. I'm talking about, YouTube highlight stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just tossing the kids around. He understood what his footwork was so good, man. He cut them off and be out of there. He was that. It translates, right? And it translates for me, especially as you get older in the craft. Like even in basketball, I pay attention when I go hoop. I pay attention where somebody released their shot at. Right? I don't catch their shot up top. I catch it at the bottom because I study people's tendencies. Right? And in a fight, you have to learn those things because otherwise it could be a detriment to you. And like Hit Me and Jesse said, the team ain't no team there to protect you. Ain't no team to blame it on. You play football. You don't play boxing.
No, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I think that's something Hit Me would say for sure. So is this why like a sports coach gets less respect than a boxing coach or a sensei? You know what I'm saying? What would be the difference between the teaching and the trainings between an instructor and a football coach? If I'm a single mom out there looking to put my son in something, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm aiming at, right? If I'm a single mom looking like I'm most single moms put their kids in sports for discipline, for this, for that, for male guidance. What would you recommend to them?
I think, I think the biggest aspect in the individual sports, and that's like boxing and martial arts, is that there's a big mental factor. You know what I mean? So just like Uncle Rick was saying, by his son, he was throwing them kids around because he was more mentally advanced too. You know what I'm saying? It breeds a different type of confidence inside of you when you can step in there with like a mano, you and the man. You know what I'm saying? And when you put that discipline in yourself and you constantly perfecting your craft, you got a different type of confidence, you know what I'm saying? And a different mental toughness. So I think so you say like a sensei and a coach, or, you know what I'm saying, like a teacher, like, you know what I'm saying? It's you're more built in a mind more than you built in a body. You know what I'm saying? I think football is more focused, you know what I'm saying, on understanding the plays, you know what I mean? You understanding the game, but boxing is like understanding yourself. You know what I'm saying? And always pushing your limits. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think you ain't have it, they be telling you like, yo, man, you got like you listen to the coaches when you go in the corner, and they really like on some life coach stuff. Like, you know what I mean? They ain't really giving you a lot of instruction. They might say, hey, look, this is open. Look for this. Do this. But most of it's like, yo, man, you got this. Like, what you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? They feeding you. You know what I'm saying? They feeding our confidence. They feeding that beast inside you. And I think that makes you look at them a little different, man. It's a different type of game.
Kind of like I like that. You built in the body, you built in yourself, you built in your mind, and football is focused on just building the body and just trying to endure. You know what I mean? Instead of like enduring mentally. You know, that's one thing I will say that one thing I've always struggled with. Like I could always push myself to run an extra sprint to have one more play. You know what I'm saying? But when it came to schoolwork, right? I don't know how to apply more mental effort to schoolwork. Like I could run another sprint, dog tired. You know what I'm saying? But I can't necessarily read another page. You know what I'm saying? So is that where is that kind of translatable like that in the same sense how you said it?
Yeah, it's well, you know what I'm saying? You develop that discipline and you said that mental toughness and the focus. You know what I mean? Like I learned more like watching people spar than I actually did from like one-on-one coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like watching and focusing and understanding and trying to see what I can take from it to make myself better. You know what I'm saying? Like I see somebody do a move, I be like, damn, soon as he get out the ring, hey man, what did you just do? Like, how did you do that? You know, show me that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was constantly, my mind, like it trains your mind to always try to get the edge, always be better. And that's transferable like in life. Like, you know what I'm saying? My man Mo know, like I went to corporate, you know what I mean? And I don't have no degree. You know what I'm saying? I'm up there with them dudes with degrees. You know what I'm saying? They talk about college. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? All that. You know what I mean? But like it gave me a mental toughness. Like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't none of these dudes better than me. You know what I'm saying? They can't do what I do. And you know what I'm saying? I was able to push on through that. You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying? You can get intimidated. You know what I'm saying? You say what you want, but it's an intimidating environment. You know what I'm saying? And it helped me cross that over to the business, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean, the corporate phase.
Anybody else want to chime in? I got something to say to what he just said, but I just want to let anybody else.
No, he's right 100%. He's right 100%. And one of the things that we kind of train on and we talk about the key word right now, they call it grit. And I mean, generally, like you kind of get it as you're young, but like right now in corporate settings, like you're actually trying to train that. Like for example, there's actual exercise where they say, okay, how long can you not blink? And that's called the grit test. For me, like I remember I was having a conversation with, they don't come from the places that I come from, and I'm like, nobody's gonna die. Like this doesn't really affect me. But at the same time, like I'll play along, but I'm like, this isn't grit. I was like, this is synthetic. But I think the same thing that made Hit me be able to translate into corporate and to be able to persevere through whatever, it was grit. It wasn't necessarily about, is he a boxer or was he coached up from a football coach? It was about that he got that level of confidence and that level of grit. So my advice to be for that, I don't want to say single mother, but for that parent, for what they should do is do whatever it is that's best for them. Because I know, Vic, you was talking about, different tribes. The tribe you was coming from, you built for football. Not necessarily so much for me, but the reason I kind of gravitated towards football because it was more of a challenge. It wasn't in my wheelhouse. So it's just about building that confidence and building that grit. So that's what I would tell that parent. Go after whatever it is that your kid needs. Get them that, whatever avenue that is. So that's definitely my advice when it comes down to how you're going to handle that.
And as far as if I was speaking to a single mother, I would definitely tell her to put her son in some type of martial discipline first, right? Because if we want to break down a team sport, we know coaches have different agendas, favorite players, certain schemes they want to run, whether you lose or not, right? And there's always somebody to blame. You can always blame the coach or the team, right? In a martial art, you're going to understand it's going to come down on you, right? If your coach giving you bad advice, that ain't going to stop you from getting punched in the face, right? You can't blame it on the coach, right? So it teaches you have to learn, you have to do what works for you. You have to make the appropriate adjustments. And we speak about these things in life, right? That's the one thing Canelo Alvarez said that was right, bro. He may have lied about a lot of stuff, but the one thing he said that was right is boxing is life, right? Because ain't nobody, no matter if your coach is giving you bad information, if he got an agenda, you the one in there getting hit in the face, right? And we know that's how life goes. You can blame it on your wife, your girl, your daddy, your mama, but at the end of the day, you got to make those adjustments, right? So that's why I would definitely recommend you going with some type of martial discipline first. It would simply enhance your young man as he goes in life, right? And shout out to what Mo Better say, like you, and that's why I just feel like, because I used to box and I didn't beat people up and I didn't got beat up, right? I understand we all men at the end of the day. And sometimes it just ain't your day. Right? So that's why, and again, when you get into these high school sports cliques, right? You get clicked up. You start looking at everybody to shoulder your responsibilities. Right? In a martial art, at the end of the day, when you on that mat or you in that ring, it's all you, dog. Right? And I'd rather have you learn that early so you can study, make the adjustments, be able to make the adjustments, right? And improve on your own in the gym, right? In the sparring, then have to do it out in life, or better yet, in a high school or college sport where you thinking it's all gravy and it don't go the way you want to go, right? And you don't have the mental capacity or abilities to handle those situations. That's what martial disciplines teach you.
Yeah, so how I look at it, from a standpoint of like foundation, when you're trying to build a foundation, I think it's always good to be able to build your mental toughness, be able to create that level of discipline. And I think that's something that martial arts can do at an early age. You're getting your kid in there and they're focused on, on building themselves, being better, being able to listen, being able to breathe, being able to focus. And I think that carries over because I don't think you could be a good team player without being good. Without figuring out all of the things about yourself, without knowing your breaking points, without knowing, without understanding that discipline. I don't think you could be a good team player. I think, you could be selfish. I think you can, figure out ways to just sabotage the team just for your point. So for your gratification, because you're not getting what you want to get. So I think like building that foundation to be able to be disciplined and understand yourself, I think will go well, going into team sports. I'm not necessarily saying they go hand in hand, but I think it's essential to the growth of an adolescence to be able to, build that confidence and get that foundational discipline. Because, it's easy to be disciplined in something you like. You know what I mean? It's easy to go to practice when you just like football or all your friends are there. You know what I mean? But that's not really discipline. You're just doing what you like. Discipline is being able to go into some place that you hate going and doing something that you hate doing, and you grind it out every single day. You know what I mean? Because you want a desired outcome. So,
Can somebody look up the definition of discipline real quick? But go ahead. My bad, bro.
No, we can do that. Yeah, we could do that because we like to be true and we like to have those definitions on here. But yeah, it's not discipline when you just playing around with your friends. You know what I mean? Because you just like to go. You know what I mean? You're disciplined when you can get up every single day and do something that you hate to do because you're working towards a goal. That takes an amount of discipline and mental strength and mental toughness. You know what I mean? To go toward that.
What's up, Smooth? You got something to say about what's going on?
Nah, man, I'm just soaking in game, man.
It's one of those situations where you forget that you're a part of the cast, and you be like, man, there be jewels that be speaking, and you be like, damn, you be sitting there soaking it up.
I'm listening, man, and like, man, well, you know my son, and I'm thinking I did the wrong route with him, honestly. Like, I met you doing, you know what I'm saying, you coaching him doing football. And I'm wishing I could have put him in martial arts.
Look, now you're regretting it, right? So
I mean, not regretting. It just outcome of him would have been a little different.
So I mean, that kind of spills into the next question. Is there like is there an age to start? I mean, Jesse, you kind of hit on it a little bit, but is there an age where you can start? Is it too late to start or stop, or is there a window that what I'm saying that you should put your kids in martial arts like now?
No, if you're asking me directly, so in jiu-jitsu, man, people start at any age, any and every age. There was a guy that started at our gym. He's 60 years old. We got 50-year-olds. We got 70-year-olds, like for real, who just start out. And then we got the kids program, which I help coach out in where I live. And so that starts between ages of 4 and 6. And then the next step up is 7 to 9, and then 10 to 13. After 13, you're considered an adult. It's like, all right, man, playtime's over. Like we taught you everything you need to know. Now you need to apply it with the adults, and still there's, size matches up. You size up with people that are similar size, but there's no real time where you should start versus, you can start a martial art anytime is basically what I'm saying. I think sometimes younger can be great. Sometimes younger could be bad. But I think you just try them out. So like you might put your son in boxing. He might not really like boxing. All right, cool. Let's try the next one. What else is out there of the more practical martial arts? If we start talking about these Korean kick things, I don't really believe in those, but to each their own. But I don't think there really is a time. My middle son started when he was 4. He wanted to do it immediately. My oldest son, he started it when he was around 5, did it for about 1.5 years off and on. And then I want to say when he was 11, he's like, hey, can you teach me jiu-jitsu? I said, yeah, I can teach you jiu-jitsu, but if you don't train jiu-jitsu, then it doesn't matter. Like I can tell anyone in here how to apply a rear naked choke and choke somebody out and and they'll pass out because of the carotid artery. The blood gets shut off to the brain. I could teach anyone that, but are you going to remember it when you really need it? Have you trained it? Have you trained the several different defenses to defend it? No. So then you're not going to know what to do when someone defends it. You're just the first defense. You're done. That's it. So I think it's something that, again, it's a lifelong effort. And again, a lot of team sports, you don't really get that. I mean, you have your Sunday leagues and stuff like that, but I think something that you can do on your own for the rest of your life, build a community. You got your football friends, your football community, you got your family, your regular family, you got your friends, your extended family, and then you got your gym, and that's its own family. So I just having multiple communities for kids, I think is the best thing to do. I always say a village raises a child. So the broader the network, because you're meeting different people in all these different martial arts too. And then there's crossovers, you meet wrestlers and all that. So that's my spin on it.
Hey, I'm gonna drop a bomb for that. All the stuff we ever talk about, we talked about Kingdom and the village, like, I'm saying, plenty of episodes, and the multiple kingdoms, the multiple villages, you know what I mean? Like having that diversity within yourselves. Like that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one that we all kind of have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're good. I'm good. I have white friends, black friends, Indian friends. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got football friends. I got baseball friends. I don't have any martial arts friends, but maybe I need to start down that path a little bit. But I have friends from all different realms, and people don't know how differently you can connect each piece. You know what I mean? And actually, this show kind of shows it, how we bring different people from all these different platforms, and you know what I'm saying? And everybody has something to say or to apply. And I think that's pretty dope in a mindset that we need to apply, as in get our kids in multiple villages. It's not just one village that, you know what I'm saying, that raises our kid. It's multiple diversities. Another thing that hit me was bringing up, right? So I still go through, like, you're like, I don't got no degree and I'm in corporate or whatever, but I still go into my corporate job with my shout out to Cal U, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you feel like this, Jess, but when I go to like work and people are like, oh, I went to Michigan State, I went to Harvard, I went to Georgia Tech, I went to Hawaii, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they went to all these big schools, and I'm like, damn, like I got to code against all these guys, man. I ain't ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, so I deal with that also, you know what I mean? But anybody got something to say until we go to the next point?
let me just respond to what you said about that, because I went to Cal U, got my degree from Cal U. I don't care, but part of me is like, because after I left Cal, I did a lot of things. Like I was in the military, and after the military, and I was in I started jiu-jitsu before the military. Went in the military. Jiu-jitsu was actually the base for their combatives program, so I got to continue the journey. Crazy how life turns out that way sometimes. And then once I got out of the military and I was back in Pittsburgh, man, I just I didn't know what to do. I didn't have football, didn't have anything. But I was like, you know what, let me go. Where's the closest jiu-jitsu gym? I can go anywhere in the country. I can go on a business trip and just walk into a jiu-jitsu gym, or even like Rick, he can walk into a boxing gym and get it in. Like you can always get your workout in. But to that point about people, I don't care. I really don't, like, because at the end of the day, I'm like, you a man just like me, or a woman, whoever it is, and you put your pant leg one leg at a time. You're no different than me. You're just a human, and you can't beat me. So it's like, what I mean? Like, there's that comment, like, I don't give a fuck. Like you can't. Oh, excuse me, I don't know if we can cuss on here, but you can't beat me. So I don't care what that degree is cool. Whatever. It don't matter to me.
Good. Anybody else?
Look, you already know. So a couple things. So one, there's not even a Cal U anymore. Like they kind of hit me up with the whole alumni donating thing. I'm like, I don't know y'all, Penn West. I don't know you. I'm not giving you no bread. But anyway, but one of the things that I think that it's a lot of layers to that, man, and it's called imposter syndrome. And I think a lot of times, man, it's just really insecurities. Man, like, so I think a lot of what we talked about is actually it helps with that, the confidence, hey man, I know I can endure, I know I can get through whatever it is. As long as I get enough time, I'll figure it out. And for me, I literally, so for what I do, man, I get in rooms and people hear I play college ball, and for the kind of stuff that I do, they just assume I went to Georgia Tech. I'm in Atlanta, and I'm like, no, that's not where I went. That's not where I played ball, whatever. But I'm not in the business of trying to convince people. This is the caliber of work I have. This is the value that I bring. Either you're going to give me what I need to be here, or I'm not going to be here. I go where I'm celebrated. I don't go where I'm tolerated. That is really just that simple. So not being able to, the degree says this school or that school. Like I know people that didn't went and paid $40,000 just to say that they have a MBA from such and such, but I still make more than them, or I still live better than them. Like, so that's not the point. The point is knowing who you are and knowing what you bring and the value that you can add to whatever situation is, whether that's work, whether that's being able to defend yourself, your family, raise your kids. It's knowing what's inside of you, not what you were trained to do. Just knowing what you're able to do internally. I think that's what's most important.
Yo, like kind of what Jesse said, like Jess was talking, like that term, you can't beat me, right? Like, yo, that's a fighter's term. You know, that's what's in your head. That's what's playing in your head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what you do, how many weights you lift, what you think, you're not gonna beat me today. Like, you just not going. It's just not gonna happen. And another thing that's like, I think in part of the discipline of martial arts and boxing, there's like a mental, there's like to be able to be calm in the eye of the storm. You know what I'm saying? Like that calmness, like the ability to think, you know what I mean? In the midst of, like, the best fighters can think under pressure. You know
Slow that clock down. Slow that clock down.
You know what I'm saying? Slow, everything slows down for you. You know what I'm saying? And you're able, because there's a lot of people who can, like, you see them hitting the pads, hitting the bag, they look phenomenal. But when they get in the ring and them lights come on, you know what I'm saying? All that go out the window. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that mental fortitude. You know what I'm saying? That ability to, you know what I'm saying, remain calm, man. And that's something that you can apply in anything you do. You know what I'm saying? In any business and in personal life, you know what I mean? With kids, wherever, is the ability to, you know what I'm saying, have the confidence in yourself and ability to be able to bring calm under pressure. Like, that says a lot, especially in the corporate world. Like, I used to struggle, you know what I'm saying, with public speaking, but I be using boxing tactics to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took that and approach it like I'm about to get in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm stepping up, and it made me feel more confident and be able to speak better. You know what I'm saying? To project better. So I think it's all, you know what I mean? It's all transferable, you know what I mean, in life in general.
The floor is open.
I agree. I can't say nothing else. They pretty much said what I was gonna say.
Bet. So I guess the next question is we went over that. I kind of wanted to go, like, you know, because we have martial arts and boxing. I wasn't sure if they was the same thing, considered the same thing. You know what I mean? Is it better to go one way or the other? What's the difference between the two? Like, I just, you know what I mean, just from a host perspective, like, man, we got boxing. Is boxing even considered a martial art, or what's the difference between the two? Is it all the same discipline? Can y'all kind of like had that conversation and go over like
No, they all martial arts. They're just different disciplines. You see what I'm saying? For example, you think of karate, right? There's so many different factions of karate. You know what I'm saying? Jiu-jitsu, right? So many different factions. They all fighting disciplines. They're all fighting disciplines. They just fall under different categories. That's all. I mean, like it's like the brother said, if you got a coach that's about their salt, no matter which way you go, you're gonna learn something. They're gonna mold you into help you mold you into a better person. You know what I'm saying? And again, I to me, it's like the boxing is it's the add-on, it's the caveat, right? It's the lessons that come with it that you learn that you really learn from. Again, the mental toughness, the confidence, not needing a tribe, right? Because that's what that is, y'all talking about that college thing, right? The football thing, right? You know, you associate. I went to Harvard. I went to NBU. I went to Georgia Tech. Right. That's association. Now, while that's great for networking in business. Right. At the end of the day, it's you that got to sit at that desk and make that project happen. Right. So again, it teaches you to be an individual, and it takes a great individuals to make a great team. Correct. All right. That's all I'm saying.
no, that's real. What's up, Lee? You got something to say?
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If you guys ever watched the IP Man, right? You know who gave him the competition, who he struggled with the most? It was the boxer. And I'm out.
I mean, that's Tyson though. That's a different kind of animal.
Nah, it wasn't Tyson. It was two. It was on two. There was a white guy that was in the ring that he gave him a lot of problems, man, because like the structure, you know what I'm saying, his footwork and you know what I mean, his ability, you know what I'm saying, to move gave him issues, man. Go check it out.
I think they put limitations on him. They told him he couldn't kick, he couldn't use his feet, he couldn't do like they changed his whole style. You know what I mean? His Wing Chun style didn't match with the American boxing style. So that's why, you know, when you going against two different disciplines and they change the rules on you mid-fight, you know, that's what that was about, because he was coming in and he was training a certain way. And then they told him, oh, you can't use your feet, you can't do this. So the discipline changed. And of course, the person who's more seasoned in the one discipline that is, you know, it's more favoring, the fight is more favoring, they got the upper hand. But you see who won that fight.
So yeah, I had a question.
I mean, it was a movie though. It was a movie.
You know, I had
life to me.
I got this saying though, the toughest person and y'all know the toughest person you can never beat this person in the movie is a white woman. You can't beat a white woman in the movie, dog. She beats everybody every time. There ain't no movie she ain't never won. But I did have one question: is like, why is one more successful than the other? But I mean, y'all have already expressed so many great points about how martial arts and boxing it focuses on being an individual and winning as a self. You know what I'm saying? So you could be a part of a team. You know what I'm saying? I definitely love that aspect of it. You know what I mean? So I was just kind of taking notes. You know, I always take notes during the show just to kind of run them back, and then everybody can add whatever kind of piece. As to Rick's, Rick made this statement. Put martial arts first, then sports. You know what I'm saying? So get your kids in martial arts before you go, before they get in sports, and that'll make them better in sports. It'll give them the ability to, recognize twitches and and muscle movements and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that jewel. You can't hide behind your team. That was huge. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I even struggle. I think maybe everybody struggles with that. You know what I'm saying? Just expecting somebody to, on your team to kind of pick up the load. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, I got to do this all on my own. So I definitely like that. But I mean, that could also get in the way of being a good team member. You know what I'm saying? If you like, I got to do everything on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Vic.
Yeah.
Real quick, I wanted to answer that last question about one is better than the other, or what's the difference between striking and grappling. And that's how I break it down. There's striking and there's grappling. So wrestling is grappling, judo is grappling, jiu-jitsu is grappling, your boxing is striking. You got Muay Thai, which is striking, kickboxing is striking. So I break martial arts down into those two groups, striking and grappling. And then when it comes to like what's better than the other, I don't think there's one's not better than the other. And there's a whole organization that exemplifies that very well, which is the UFC, right? Because mixed martial arts. So you got people who come in with multiple disciplines and there's different combinations. So you might have someone like Nate Diaz, who's a boxer and he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like, is that combination going to beat a wrestling kickboxer? Or back in the days when Lyoto Machida was in there and he was boy stepped into the ring with karate. I ain't never seen that, but he was successful for a time until people figured it out. You know what I mean? So it just, if you want to really see those different combinations at work, UFC, One Championship, Pride Fighting, like all those different mixed martial arts organizations, check those out. Nothing wrong with. I mean, boxing has its perks, right? But there's some downsides to it. Though, if you get thrown to the ground, where's the punching power coming from? With jiu-jitsu, we don't teach striking, so it's a grappling art. So so you have to be well-rounded. You don't have to be well-rounded, but I think as long as you have at least one discipline in terms of martial arts, I think you'll be all right.
So Jesse, I think it was a kind of an interesting observation that I was actually watching UFC this weekend, and I was watching, waiting for the whole John Jones thing, right? And so I'm watching with my fiance, and she's asking like these what I felt remedial questions, but it was like, wait a minute, she's right, because all the brothers came in and they were striking, and oh, he boxed, and it looked real good until they got their hands put on him and choked him out, and I was like, okay. So I started looking at it a whole lot different, because I was like, oh, that was smooth until it wasn't smooth no more. And then one of the things that I saw in the main event with John Jones was he's a superior athlete than everybody. So let's keep it real. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that was like, I trained forever and I put 1,000 hours into the mastery of it. But sometimes there's genetics, and then sometimes there's just, he's just better than you. Just God gave him more than what you can handle. So, and you end up being, on the opposite side of him. Everything's going to have to work perfect for you to beat this guy. And my man, I don't know, what we talking, 60 seconds? He was out of there. He just ran into a superior athlete.
It was probably about, I think it was like 1:30 or something along those
lines.
Yeah,
like night.
But did you see the Valentina Shevchenko fight with Grasso?
Yeah. That was the women before it?
Yeah, that was the she ain't Russian.
Yeah, they was getting it on, yeah.
Bro. Yeah, like the level of jiu-jitsu that woman showed, man. Bruh. Man, she sank it in. And I'm just sitting there watching it. And it's the last thing I'll say. But like, I was watching the fight, and she had, what she did was masterful. She sidestepped a spinning back kick, right? And then she could see the back. And that's what I always tell the kids. If you can see their back, you can take their back. And so she saw her back, jumped on her back. She's down to the ground. She goes down to the ground. Valentina has to put her hands down on the mat to keep herself from hitting her face. Now, Alexa knew that. So as she's coming down, putting her hands onto the mat, she's sinking in a rear naked choke.
That was just drilling, bro. They drilled that in the gym. They drilled that in the gym, bro.
Exactly. But
as soon as she saw it, she jumped on it.
Exactly. And that's that's a part of, again, watching the film and drilling and doing all those different things. But just and you can see Valentina tried to tuck her chin. She tried to tuck the chin down to defend it. And my coach, the black belt I train under, he's a monster. And I remember I rolled against him as a newer practitioner, and I did the same thing. I tucked my chin, and he put a rear naked choke in, and I thought I had my chin chuck. I thought that my jaw was about to break. So not only was my jaw about to break, but he was still about to get the choke. And so after I tapped, I was like, "Yo, I'm out." He was like, "Listen," he was like, "The only reason to use your chin is to have some time to get your hands into the fin, but the chin won't stop it. Your jaw will break, and then you're still going to get choked unconscious." And I never forgot that. And so it was, and so that's exactly what I saw in that fight. You saw it. She tucked her chin, but Alexa, she just kept tightening, just walking her fingers up. I was like, it was done. She's gonna tap, and sure enough, she did. That was the best fight of the night, if you ask me. That was insane.
Yo, so it'd be wild. Like every time you see like a fight or something like that, then you practice all the moves that you that you see. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, Creed came out. You watch Creed. Now everybody think they a world championship. Y'all got me looking like I'm Googling right now of like jiu-jitsu gyms or, you know what I mean, boxing gym. I mean, I always go to Cuz. What would y'all recommend, you know, you start first on this journey of martial arts?
Whatever you comfortable in.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to it. Yeah, ain't nothing to it but to do it, to be honest with you. It's just like getting back in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
What would you recommend for somebody to get a hip replacement?
Get a gun.
Man, a hip replacement, bro? Like, ugh. Can you still get leverage? Are you still able to get leverage in your hips?
Smooth?
Now I'm saying, was that a shot at me?
If you can't get no leverage, man, shit, it's over with.
Yeah,
No,
you need your hips.
I got a gun.
Yeah, you got a kickstand and a gun. Hey.
I got that too. Shit. Some people are too big.
What you say? I got plenty of them. Huh?
Look, what that was last episode. You said, "Look, what if I can't beat him?"
Got a pistol on me too. That's right.
Hey, that's crazy. So, hey, Jess, man. So, like, you know, that turbulence we went through up Cal, right? Would you say that you kind of use this discipline up there, like as far as how to get through that mentally?
So it was funny is I started doing jiu-jitsu right during the time I was still up Cal when I started doing jiu-jitsu, and it replaced it. You know what I mean? Because I have been physical my whole life. I started playing football in third, fourth grade. And then to not be able to play football anymore, one, it was a relief, really, because like I was tired of it. And I wasn't, you know what I mean? You know when you ain't going to the NFL, bro. I know you shaking your head. I know we had this discussion when you called me. But to me, I was just like, man, this is an ends to a means. I'm here. I'm about to get this degree. Like, do I really need this anymore? No. Because it was a way, it was a tool, and which is fine. But you know, jiu-jitsu, like I said, it's a lifelong thing. I'll never know everything. That's the thing. I'll never know everything. And even if I do know it, am I going to master it? Like what Bruce Lee said, like I don't fear a man that's practiced 10,000 kicks. I fear a man that's practiced one kick 10,000 times. So it's a journey. It just keeps going. It never ends. It never stops. There's always something to learn. It's always new. It's always fresh. It's always something I've never seen before. So, yeah.
What would you say as far as fitness, right? I see some fat boxers sometimes. Like they be having love handles and everything, and I'd be like, man, you box, dog. Like, what's up with
Ruiz? That? Like, yeah, just
same for y'all football players, man. Same for y'all football players, man. Out there chubby, sliding around. You know what I'm saying? But does that matter? As long as your footwork, man. Boxing 3 minutes is a lifetime, bro. Boxing 3 minutes is a lifetime if you ain't in shape. You know
you want to hear a funny story? I'm gonna tell the story. Hit right. So Hit me. He teaches boxing, right? So I would go over there for cardio in your boxing. I said, hey, yo, let's put the gloves on. Let's spar real quick, right? So I'm 260. Hit 140 pounds. I don't want to disrespect you. You can say your real weight. You know?
dog. Chill out, man. Chill out, man. 140, man.
You're the flyweight, the flyweight champ.
Listen though,
That's light welterweight, man.
listen. So I was like, let's put the gloves on. We'll do straight body shots, right? So I'm you know, it's not a fair thing, you know what I'm saying? I know Cuz is trained, and I just wanted to see, you know, where I'm at. You know what I mean? I know I was a little out of shape. This dude instantly put a strategy on me just for kicks and giggles. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm just gonna keep punching his shoulder. And I'm thinking, I got these broad, y'all see my shoulder, I got these broad shoulders. Go ahead, you can take it all day. It got to a point where I was just like, hey man, this dude keep hitting his shoulder, dog. Like, let me just put this joint down. You know, and then I started like having to think through what he was doing to me. Like, oh, okay, so when he do that, I'm gonna do this now. You know what I'm saying? But that's thinking in the moment. But I was so mad at him, like, man, you stupid for putting that on me. Like, he just kept hitting the same shoulder. You know what I'm saying? That was just his strategy. I mean, you can talk about it a little bit.
First off, this is something that I never do. So he wanted to do this in front of his wife and his kids. I was like, oh, hell nah. You don't never spar a man in front of his wife and his kids because he's fighting with the will of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man ain't going to lose in front of his wife and kids. I was like, that's the first thing that I don't never do. And then the second is, like, sometimes you can't always be the bull. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the matador. You know what I'm saying? You got a guy that's bigger. It's like, that's the thing about, like, the science of boxing, man. That's the cool thing about it. You can outthink somebody. You know what I'm saying? You don't always got to be a brute. You know what I mean? Like, you can have a strategy. You know what I'm saying? Like every time he got ready to set up, like, to throw one of them big, strong man punches, I just jab him. You know what I'm saying? Jab him and move. Like, it's simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, every time he get ready to load up, step him, knock him off balance, and move out the way. You know what I'm saying? That's the cool thing.
Bob Bull, was you giving him that Bob Bull or punch round?
But the thing about it, I was trying to be fair, right? I was trying to just throw the hands with him. You know what I'm saying? Because I already know, like, I can maul him at any time, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to I'm trying to play the sport as the sport's being played.
You weren't trying to win. That's all it was.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I know, right? Like, but I mean, for the occasion, I'm like, I'm not trying to. I already know. I know what I can do. We're not wrestling at the point. You know what I'm saying? I could go over there, grab him. I'm strong, so that's not a problem. But it was just like I just wanted to kind of see like where these hands was going to go, and I was like, I just couldn't match you. So I was like, you know what? Next time we go out there, you know, you punch. I'm gonna get his legs. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just gonna be what it is.
You know, people don't give boxers enough credit, man. Boxing is an art. It's a science. You know what I'm saying? I got to understand lines, angles. You know what I'm saying? Leverage, right? Like, y'all, like, if you look at fighters like Shakur Stevenson, they look plain. But he's a master of distance.
Yeah,
right.
He's skilled.
His feet are so good, bro. You can never get close enough to get him, but he always close enough to get you. You know what I'm saying? You have fighters like Terrence Crawford who can make adjustments on the fly. Right? You have Errol Spence that can box, that can beat you at your own style. Right? You a boxer, he outbox you. You wanna dog it out like you said and tie me up. Let's go. We're gonna sit here right here foot to foot and get it popping. Right? Boxers, you gotta be able to think, man. You gotta be able to think. It's a thinking man's game. It's not usually who's the toughest or the strongest, it's who the smartest. It's who the smartest. Right? That's why shout out to TBE Floyd, man. Like that dude, man. They can say that man is smart, bro. In that ring, I ain't seen nobody better, bro. I ain't seen nobody better than Floyd. And I'm talking about everybody. I ain't seen nobody better than Floyd. Floyd made greats look like sparring partners. He understands the sport. His daddy got him in the sport when he was shitting in diapers.
Yeah, Floyd's a technician, man. Like he don't get that credit, I guess, because of his persona and, like, you know what I'm saying, just how overall how they America villainizes everybody, every black dude that's rich with money and got that big mouth. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about, like, somebody, they interviewed one of the guys that fought him, and they asked him, like, how is it fighting Floyd? He was like, man, that dude pay attention to everything. He says, yo, he's looking at the clock. He said he's like between rounds, he's over there looking about how much you're breathing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he said, yo, that dude is like a scientist in there, man. And he never takes risks. You know what I'm saying? He just like he's the smartest fighter we probably ever seen, man. Like hands down. Like, and another thing, like Floyd is like one of the hardest trainers that they like. Anybody who ever trained with Floyd said like this dude is crazy. Like they say that dude will lead a club and run home. You know what I'm saying? From the club. Like he'll get up 2 a.m. and spar all the way till the sun come up. Like he's a dog. Like that's the discipline what people don't see. A lot of people want to be Floyd. They want to be flashy. They want to run their mouth, but they don't put in the same work Floyd put in. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely like a master of his craft, man, as far as the discipline aspect.
I agree. Floyd is nasty. I've never seen anyone better. And I watch old fights. I watch fighters like he's an animal, and it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. So like right now, the best grappler in the world, arguably, is a man named Gordon Ryan, who he makes seasoned black belts look like children, like just doing whatever he wants to them. There's only a few people that are like that, but like again, the discipline aspect, like he's up early in the morning, eating right, his diet's right, eating right. He'll train, he'll drill for 4 hours, then he'll go live for an hour, 10-minute rounds. You ever try to wrestle somebody for 10 minutes, bro? Like, and don't let it be someone who knows what they're doing. You're going to have a bad time. And so, he's doing that all day, every day, 24/7. He trains all day, every day, 24/7. And he hasn't lost in like 30 super fights. So, yeah, it's the discipline. You'll find that in any sport, the best of anybody, the best wrestler, the best whatever martial art it is. Like it's the same thing. You see the same level of discipline. You see the same level of dedication.
What would you tell females? I mean, what would y'all tell females to train? For self-defense, what would be the best for them?
For self-defense, I say jiu-jitsu only because if a woman's doing self-defense, it's against men. And I've been hit by women. Don't ask me how or why, but like, it's not doing nothing to me. So, but if she can use your own body against you, if she can use leverage, then she has an advantage. And whereas most men want to get a woman to the ground anyway. So it's like you're doing half the work for her. And there's some women that, I've trained with that will kill me. They could kill me. Right? Like they're good. Yes, I'm stronger, right? There's that aspect of it, but when someone really knows what they're doing, it doesn't even matter. Like if you're untrained in that way, untrained in grappling, yeah, I'll take a woman who's trained easy over a man for sure.
Would the boxers agree?
Yeah, I think that would be the move. Especially for women. I think honestly, create situations. I think like the training and the discipline will help them create situations where they'll limit themselves being, exposed in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? But I think, yeah, jiu-jitsu, any type of grappling, because that's the first thing a guy want to do is grapple. You know what I mean? Snatch them when they want to, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think that'd probably be the move.
No, that's dope, man. I'm gonna look into some jiu-jitsu stuff, and I'm old now. I'll be 40 this year. That's crazy, but I'm gonna look into some of that. Y'all said I ain't too young. It ain't too late to start. You know what I'm saying? Some grappling. I'm gonna come down, check out Hit Me Boxing. Down in Stone Mountain, Jim's official. Rick, final pieces, man. Anybody got anything they want to close out to?
Real quick, if you're in the Pittsburgh area, check out Stout Training, Renzo Gracie, arguably the best jiu-jitsu in Western Pennsylvania. So check us out. I'm at the Monroeville location. I teach kids 7 to 9, 10 to 13. And I'm in the mix of I'm starting a nonprofit with some anti-bullying stuff surrounding it. So I'm going to go to different schools, try to introduce a jiu-jitsu curriculum. Just to expose kids to it, like, hey, check this out, so they don't gotta, drag their parents and say, "Oh, let's try this out." You know, 'cause sometimes that's a barrier for kids, is their own parents. So if I can expose it to them and they can say, "No, we tried it at school. I want to do this." So that's all I got. Thanks.
Hey, bro, hit me. You need anything? Hit me.
For sure. Appreciate you.
What's up, Rick? You let them know where your channel at?
Oh yeah, man. I'm here on YouTube, man. Just do a search for Ricky Williams, #TWT. It'll pull right up. I'm also over there on Instagram at @RDubs, ARE_DUBBZ. I appreciate y'all, fellas, man. Y'all have a great one. Jesse, thanks so much for your service to all my fellas in the military. I appreciate y'all. And to all my brothers, man, y'all know what it is. Take care of yourself and your family. Everything else, take care of yourself. We go.
Appreciate you, Rick. What's up, Leifer? You want to tell them about the nonprofit?
I wasn't even going to talk about the nonprofit. I was just going to say something about how, much I revere and appreciate, the martial arts, man. And just, even since I was a kid. So it's something that I always wanted to get my kids into. I wasn't able to get my daughter into it early age like I wanted to, but my son for sure. He's 1 now, and I'm definitely going to get him into it, Jesse. I'm going to hit you up because I'm going to get, I really want to get him and mess around with some jiu-jitsu, get my son in some jiu-jitsu when he's old enough. Right now, he's only 1, but you know what I mean? I'm not going to wait till he gets in there and starts whooping my butt. So I'm going to get in there now, and I'm going to start messing with you so that way when he get up to snuff, you know what I mean? I got a little something on it. But, yeah, I definitely appreciated this episode, man. I think being able to be self-disciplined and, you know what I mean, to train your mind and being able to focus, I think that is key to everything in life. Not only, team sports, but just your job and how you're working and how you're managing your life and being a responsible adult. So I appreciate this, and, we can plug me later.
What's up, Mo? You got something on the real estate or?
So, man, so obviously always, but man, for me, man, kind of after hearing all this, man, there's nothing I want to plug, man. Nothing like self-serving, man. I want folks to actually invest in themselves. You know what I mean, man? Mind, body, spirit. Get yourself some money so you can do what you want to do, not what you have to do. So, that's the biggest thing that I have for all the viewers, man. Just make sure you invest in yourself. Get out, try something. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing, man. Get out and do something.
Smooth, close us out.
Hey man, I just realized I drink and smoke way too much. I just realized who hit me was. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hit me. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I just realized who you was. We'll talk, man. But I definitely need to get my son back with you. Other than that, man, nah, I'm good, man.
Hey, man. I don't like to keep y'all guys for an hour, man. And I appreciate everybody coming up and coming down, man.
Hey, Vic, before you get your spill, man, just for the record, dog, before you thought you was going to come over here and maul me, I'm just letting you know I'm 1997 Pittsburgh City champion wrestling. So, you know what I'm saying? Take that into consideration. You know what I mean? When you think you're going to be, you know what I'm saying, it's flinging me.
Hold on. Time out.
Here go Rambo talk. Here it come.
Time out. I know y'all only y'all only know me for the football stuff, you know what I'm saying? But hey, I used to wrestle too. I used to wrestle too. Dog. It ain't gonna be no cakewalk for you, dog.
We ain't talking about the lock it up in the street shit.
No, ain't no lock it up in the streets, dog.
The leotard with the onesie.
Ain't no lock it up in the streets, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to the academy, when you go to the academy, you got an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, do some things. You know, you can play sports or you can learn a trade. I joined a wrestling team, you know what I'm saying? 12 years old. I was wrestling with them high school boys, you know what I'm saying? I got skills in the lockup. So if you want to see that there, you're gonna lose. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming on, man. I only like to keep y'all guys for an hour, man. And this was another Prototype Dad. Peace.